Let's begin with a simple question. What is integration? When people enter healing spaces, they often expect transformation to mean becoming someone new, someone more evolved, more spiritual, more elevated. But integration isn't about becoming someone else. Integration is about returning to yourself, not the version of you shaped by survival, not the version of you shaped by expectations, but the version of you that existed before you had to fragment to live. Now, I want to ground this definition early because integration often gets misunderstood, especially in online healing spaces. Integration is not healing as performance. It's not forcing yourself into a higher self just to feel worthy. And it is most certainly not spiritual gymnastics, where you're constantly trying to prove that you're growing. Integration is quieter than that, it's slower, and it's honest in a way that can't be rushed. When I speak about integration, I'm talking about reunion. The reunion of the parts of you that had to separate in order to survive. The parts that split, the parts that hid, the parts that adapted to environments that were unsafe, the parts that froze when they couldn't escape, the parts of you that hyperfunctioned just to hold everything together, and the parts that shut down when it all became too much. Integration is not fixing those parts, it's inviting them home. Inside the integration chamber, we approach this process with intention. Integration means honoring your truth, even when it's uncomfortable. It means acknowledging every part of your internal landscape, not just the parts that feel healed or presentable. It means slowing down enough to actually hear the parts of you that you've ignored or overridden. And most importantly, it means building safety inside your body so that those parts know it's safe to return. This brings us to your first key. Integration happens at the speed of your honesty, not your intelligence, not your spiritual knowledge, and not how many books you've read. Honesty is the access point because the moment you tell yourself the truth about what you feel, what you fear, what you carry, integration begins to move. But let's also be clear about what integration does not respond to. It does not move at the speed of perfection. It does not move at the speed of expectations, yours or anyone else's for that matter. And it does not move at the speed of pressure. Pressure creates performance. Integration requires presence. So, what is your role in all of this? Your job is not to force breakthroughs. Your job is not to push yourself into emotional releases just to feel like progress is happening. Your role is to create the conditions where truth can land, to build internal space, to build safety, to build capacity. Because when the conditions are right, truth arrives on its own. This lesson lays the foundation for everything that follows. Before we can understand healing, we have to understand reunion. In the next lesson, we'll begin exploring fragmentation more deeply, why it happens, how it forms, and what your internal parts actually are trying to communicate to you. Because once you understand fragmentation, integration becomes less intimidating and more compassionate.